Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, faculty members, alumni, students, and friends of IIT Madras. On behalf of the Office of Alumni and Corporate Relations, I extend my heartfelt greetings to each one of you gathered here today for the launch of the K.A. Padmanabhan Institute Chair. I kindly request all our dignitaries to come on to the stage and take their dais. We begin this auspicious occasion with the invocation. May I request everyone to kindly rise for the invocation?
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே 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 வந்தே மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் சுஜலாம் சுஃபலாம் மலயஜ शीतला सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी फुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
Thank you. Please be seated. To formally welcome the gathering, I invite Mr. Kaviraj Nair, CEO, Office of Institutional Advancement, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Sharon. Very good morning to all of you here. Kindly allow me to welcome our chief guest, Sri Narayanamurthy sir, Professor Kamakoti, Director of IIT Madras, Professor K.A. Padmanabhan, in whose name this chair is launched, who was a former director of IIT Kanpur and also former Dean Academic Research at IIT Madras. Professor Ashwin Mahalingam, who is the Dean Alumni and Corporate Relations at IIT Madras. Of course, Professor V. Subramanya Sharma, who is going to be the first chair occupant, and Professor Ravi Kumar, who is the HOD of Metallurgy Department. Our alumnus Vivek Padmanabhan, who has also joined us online, who is also one of the key supporters of this chair. Our other esteemed guests and well-wishers of IIT Madras. A very warm welcome to all of you. Today, we gather to mark the launch of a chair professorship, an important milestone that reflects our shared belief in the power of knowledge, scholarship, and long-term institution building. Endowed chairs are among the most meaningful ways to strengthen universities, as you know. They attract outstanding faculty, enable bold research, nurture future leaders, and create lasting centers of excellence. We are deeply honored that this chair is being established with the visionary support of Mr. Murthy, whose life and work exemplify ethical leadership, entrepreneurship, and nation building. Through his role in building Infosys and through his long-standing commitment to education, he has shown how private success can translate into public good. On behalf of the IIT Madras community, I express our sincere gratitude for his generosity and trust. We see this not as a one-time gift, but as a long-term partnership rooted in shared purpose. Similarly, our sincere gratitude to Professor K. Padmanabhan, sir, for his presence today and for his leadership in the academia throughout his long-standing career in IIT Madras and in IIT Kanpur. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you, and hope we all have a great event ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for setting the tone for this significant occasion. I now invite Professor Ashwin Mahalingam, Dean, Alumni and Corporate Relations, to address the gathering.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the launch of the Professor K. Padmanabhan Chair. I think since I've been Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations for a little bit more than a year, and in that period of time, there have been several chairs for which we have fundraised and launched. But in almost all of these cases, I have no clue. I mean, the chair is named after someone, but I really don't know. I've never had the opportunity to know that person. In many cases, I don't even know the donor. They're an alumni who are of a different vintage than me. But today, I think, is perhaps the first time where, first of all, I actually know the person after whom the chair is named. Because Professor K. Padmanabhan, we used to call him Professor Cap, was a professor when I was a student. I recall seeing him on campus. So it's very nice to actually be at a launch of someone who I actually, of a chair in someone's name who I actually recognize. And also, very sort of thrilled to have Vivek with us. Vivek is one of the principal donors for this chair. Vivek and I overlapped. He was 2 years ahead of me. We had similar interests in terms of we were both active on the literary circuit. I was a little bit more of a quizzer. He was a little bit more of a, jam elocution kind of person. So we've competed against each other in inter-hostel competitions, but also competed, together with each other when it was IIT Madras against other universities and so on. So it's, lovely to also know, the person, one of the people behind whom this chair was sort of launched. Also want to really thank Mr. Narayanamurthy, is also one of the other generous donors for this chair, not only for contributing to the chair, but also for making time from his very busy schedule to come and be with us today. So thank you very much, sir, for being a part of this event. And also, there were a number of other people who've also contributed, to this chair. So while that list is quite long to name, just wanted to thank everyone. Just also wanted to echo what Kaviraj said in terms of the importance of this chair. I think IIT Madras continues to try to see what we can do to attract and motivate, the highest quality of faculty. I think under Professor Kamakoti, but also previously under Professor Bhaskar and Professor Anant, there's been a concerted effort to pay a lot of attention to the kind of people we bring in as faculty, because I think that is going to be critical to us becoming one of the world's best universities. And faculty chairs, I think, play a very critical role in all kinds of things, in being able to attract faculty, incentivize, inspire, motivate, recognize faculty for the wonderful work that we're doing. And so one of our goals is to strengthen this ecosystem by creating a number of these chairs that not only recognize people for the wonderful work that they do, but also provide them the opportunity to use the chair to push their work to greater heights and limits. So again, thank you, Vivek, thank you, Mr. Murthy, and thanks to everyone else who contributed for setting up this very, very meaningful endowment. And I can say this from personal experience, I can't think of a better occupant for this chair than Sharma. Again, I've known Sharma for several years, and sometimes these things are path dependent, depending on who starts, the trajectory follows. So I'm very glad we have Sharma as the first occupant, and really there can be no one better. So with that, I'd like to welcome all of you to the launch of the K. Padmanabhan chair. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. It is now my privilege to invite the Director of IIT Madras, Professor V. Kamakoti, to deliver the Director's address.
So very good morning to all, and Sir Professor Padmanabhan, a very hearty virtual welcome back to campus, and to Vivek, I think after 90, he passed in 96. Vivek, can you unmute? Okay.
That is correct. I passed in 96.
So it's almost 30 years. So So very hearty welcome to both of you virtually, and to Mr. Narayan Murthy. Thank you very much, sir. Um, so we had been in the process of setting up certain research chairs. And one exciting thing that happens if you set that name of the chair against a very distinguished person like Professor Padmanabhan in this case, I think that gives a very strong motivation for all of us to work and reach that level. So this is, the name also means where we need to reach, and I'm sure the occupant who is going to take up has all the potential and the vigor to reach that stage. So at the outset, I congratulate Sharma for this particular occupant of this, but first occupant of the KAP chair. So friends, we had been working towards encouraging research, and one of the important aspect of it is to have this extra mile in terms of recognizing people who are doing stellar research, recognizing people who have been contributing so very much to the institute by honoring them with these chair positions. In this context, thank you Vivek, and thank you Narayan Murthy sir for giving this great donation which has helped us to institute this chair, and as an endowment we will be continuing for times to come. In this context, I will also like to say that other than these high chair for professor chairs, we are also instituting a lot of young early faculty chairs positions, basically to encourage young people who are joining here with stellar performance in their PhD and postdoc to come here and set up and encourage them. So we are also basically looking at early faculty chair positions. So Vivek, you can tell your friends about this, and we are also looking forward to many such chair positions. We have recruited more than 200 young faculty in the last 4 years, and it's almost around 50 per year. And so we are looking forward to having many such young faculty chair positions also. So thank you very much again, and thank you Narayan Murthy sir for coming all the way. It's a dream come true for us to welcome you in the campus. And Professor Padmanabhan and Vivek, whenever you are in this part of the country, please do visit us, and we'll be too happy to welcome you. And Professor Padmanabhan, one of the things that we have been NIRF 1 for last 10 years, and all that great work that you had contributed, particularly as a dean, and setting up a lot of policies here and setting up a lot of processes here. We owe to all of you who have contributed to the growth of the institute. And every time when we are number one, we have been 10 years, we have been number one, and every time we went and received the prize, we certainly remember all of you and your great contributions. So it's not something that could have been possible in a decade. It requires at least 5 to 6 decades of consistent effort to reach to this stage. So again, thank you very much for this, and I'm sure you have also contributed so much as a director of IIT Kanpur, so I'll also take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the IIT system. Many things today we are setting examples, especially running an institute in a large democracy like India. We have these processes actually make quite a bit of significance, and all that you had set up as a director of IIT Kanpur, we all relish, and thank you very much for helping the system more than the academics part. So again, I take this opportunity to welcome you whenever you are in this part of the country. Please do visit us and bless us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. We now move to the keynote address by the person in whose honor this institute chair has been instituted, Professor K.A. Padmanabhan. Professor Padmanabhan is a distinguished metallurgist and an eminent academic leader who has made outstanding contributions to material science, research, and higher education leadership in India. He served as the director of IIT Kanpur and earlier as a dean at IIT Madras, where he played a pivotal role in strengthening research frameworks, enhancing academic governance, and advancing institutional development. His scholarly work in metallurgy and materials engineering, particularly in the areas of defamation behavior and materials processing, has earned him wide recognition and respect within the global academic community. Beyond his academic accomplishments, Professor Padmanabhan is deeply admired for his leadership in shaping robust research ecosystems within the IIT system and for mentoring generations of students and researchers. The institution of the K. A. Padmanabhan Institute Chair stands as a tribute to his academic legacy, his commitment to excellence, and his enduring association with IIT Madras. Professor Padmanabhan, we are deeply honored to have you with us today. May I request you to kindly address the gathering, please?
Can you hear me? Yes. I hope you can all hear me. Respected Director Kamakoti, the Deans, distinguished faculty, dear Narayan Murthy, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, I am overwhelmed and do not have adequate words to utter on this occasion. The affection, love, and guidance of my family, teachers, friends, and well-wishers have brought me this far. I hope that the same will protect and carry me forward till the end. This is an honor I expected the least. I am not sure whether I deserve it, but I take it as a measure of your trust, confidence, and affection. I am sure that Professor Subramanya Sharma, the first occupant of the chair, will carry my name forward with efficiency, dedication, hard work, and zeal. I have known Sharma since the early 1990s when he joined IIT Madras as an MTech student. Later, he joined me as a PhD student and obtained his PhD in 1999 working on metal fatigue. Soon after, he received a coveted Humboldt Fellowship and moved to Dresden, Germany, where he stayed for several years, branched into studying the effects of texture on the mechanical properties of materials, and got a few patents in his name. When a possibility of permanent stay in Germany came his way, he ignored it and returned to IIT Madras to join the institution as an assistant professor. Over the years, he has blossomed, and for the last 7 years, he has been serving the institute as a professor. Today, he is also the head of the department. His research output to date has been very good. He has proved to be a responsible, popular, and caring teacher. I have admired his personal conduct, value system, and his life of contentment. Blessed with a gifted veena player as his wife and 2 wonderful children, Sharma over the years has emulated the lives of teachers, advocated as role models in our ancient scriptures. He has my best wishes for a glorious future. I started my early education at Ramaseshayar High School in the village of Pathamadai in Tirunelveli district in Tamil Nadu. I am an ordinary man who has had extraordinary opportunities and was constantly buoyed up by my family, friends, well-wishers, and superior officers. Dame Luck played a huge part. I shall fail in my duty if I don't recognize the excellent education I received at what is now known as IIT BHU Varanasi and the University of Cambridge, UK. IIT BHU Varanasi, IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, University of Hyderabad, Anna University Chennai have not only been excellent employers, but also have been the fertile ground on which I could cultivate what little talent I had. Germany has been my second home. I thank the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, the German Research Foundation, University of Aachen, Darmstadt, Münster, and Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. At 80, I still publish research papers and write books based on the lecture notes I prepared as a teacher. This would be impossible without my students and colleagues. A wise man once said, I learned very good things from my teachers, but the best things I learned only from my students. I am confident that my sons and my students will carry my name forward, and I shall take my final bow in due course with sweet memories and a smile on my lips. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor. To formally introduce the chair occupant, I invite Professor Ravi Kumar from the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering to read out the citation.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure and honor to read this citation. Citation for the inauguration of the Professor K. Padmanabhan Endowment Chair, inaugural occupant Professor Vadlamani Subramania Sharma. It is a moment of profound academic distinction and personal resonance as we gather to inaugurate the Professor K. Padmanabhan Endowment Chair. The chair, established through the collective gratitude and vision of the family, friends, and former students of the legendary Professor K. Padmanabhan, fondly known as Professor Cap, stands as a living tribute to a titan of metallurgical and materials engineering whose influence continues to shape the global scientific landscape. Today, we take immense pride in appointing Professor Vadlamani Subramania Sharma, the current head of the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering at IIT Madras, as the inaugural occupant of this prestigious chair. A legacy continued. Professor Sharma's appointment is uniquely auspicious. Having earned his doctorate under the distinguished guidance of Professor Cap, he represents the finest continuation of a mentorship-driven legacy. This inauguration celebrates the Guru Shishya tradition at its peak, a student rising to occupy a position of honor named after his own mentor. Academic and professional excellence. Throughout his distinguished career, Professor Sharma has emerged as a global authority in the characterization and evolution of microstructures and their correlation with mechanical properties. His journey of excellence is marked by international research distinction, a recipient of the prestigious Alexander von Humboldt Fellowship from Germany, and the Indo-US Science and Technology Fellowship. Professor Sharma has conducted high-impact research at leading global institutions, including the Leibniz Institute, Dresden, and North Carolina State University in the United States. His seminal work in mechanical metallurgy and microstructural engineering, particularly in severe plastic deformation, the development of bulk nanostructured materials, grain boundary engineering, advanced high-strength steels, has advanced the boundaries of microstructural engineering and alloy design. As the long-standing in charge of the scanning electron microscopy facility at IIT Madras since 2005, he has been a steward of the advanced characterization infrastructure essential for modern research. With over 150 refereed journal publications and numerous patents and honors, including the IIT Madras Institute Research Development Award and the ASM International Young Metallurgist Award, underscore his reputation as a researcher of the highest caliber. Professor Sharma's career was forged in the very excellence Professor Cap had built. In the late 1980s, Professor Cap envisioned and established a world-class materials testing lab at IIT Madras with support from GTZ, Germany, exceeding 1 million Deutschmark in funding. Having been fortunate enough to work in that pioneering facility during the formative years, Professor Sharma now carries forward the spirit of innovation that has defined the department for decades. By occupying this chair, Professor Sharma serves as a bridge between a foundational era of metallurgy and its future. He embodies the very spirit of this endowment, the pursuit of knowledge that is fundamentally deep and technologically transformative. The Institute, the department, and the broader metallurgical community offer their heartiest congratulations to Professor V. Subramania Sharma. We are confident that under his stewardship, the Professor K. Padmanabhan Endowment Chair will continue to inspire excellence and innovation for generations to come.
Thank you, Professor. May I now invite Professor Subramanya Sharma, Head of the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering and the Chair Occupant of the K.A. Padmanabhan Institute Chair, to deliver his address.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. First, I would like to sincerely thank all my teachers, Professor K. Padmanabhan as a mentor, and other teachers who have been had a long influence or a significant influence on my career. On this momentous occasion, as I accept the honor of Professor K. Padmanabhan, or we call fondly as Professor KAP, with all humility, I borrow a few words from the composition of Saint Tyagaraja, one of the greatest composers our country Bharat has produced. E nati nomo phalamo, e dana phalamo, which essentially translates, what prayers and good deeds have I done in my previous birth to be blessed with this honor. So I honestly feel that way. I am overwhelmed by the sense of gratitude that is both professional and deeply personal. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the donors who have made this setting of the Professor KAP chair possible. To Sri Narayanamurthy sir, we are greatly, deeply honored by your involvement. Your recognition of Professor KAP's contributions underscores the shared values of academic rigor and nation building. To Sri Vivek Padmanabhan, thank you for your commitment to preserving your father's legacy. Your support ensures that the values of excellence championed by your father continue to flourish. To all the former students and friends of Professor KAP, this endowment is a collective tribute from those of us who are shaped by his intellect. Your generosity ensures that future generations will benefit from the standards he has set. My own academic journey is inextricably linked to the vision of Professor KAP. It's over 3 decades ago, as he mentioned, that I came under his guidance as a master's student and subsequently as a PhD student at IITM. Working in the materials testing lab, which he established, as Professor Ravi Kumar has mentioned, with GTZ Germany support, in the 80s under Indo-German program, was a formative experience for me. We continue this relation to this day, and we discuss regularly research ideas, and he shares his ideas as well. I am always inspired by the depth and profoundness of his knowledge and the enthusiasm for research even at the age of 80. To now occupy a chair named in his honor after starting my research in the very lab he has built is the greatest privilege of my professional career. To Professor KAP, sir, your mentorship has been cornerstone. I pledged to lead the chair with the integrity and scholarly passion you have always personified. Thank you very much, sir. I also would like to thank my colleagues and former HOD Professor Ravi Kumar for joining this event despite his busy schedule and for reading the citation. This honor is also recognition of the hard work my masters and PhD students and my research collaborators, and I acknowledge all their contributions. I also thank the department, my colleagues, and the institute administration for their unwavering support. Last but not least, I would like to express my gratitude and sincere to my parents who are no more in this mortal world, and my parents-in-law, my wife Sujana, and for her patience and understanding as I am almost 6.5 days a week in the office. To my children, Srivijaya and Satvik, and my brothers and their families, and my wife's family for their unflinching support and love. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. I request Professor Kamakoti to kindly present a memento to Professor Subramanya Sharma as a token of appreciation and recognition. I request the dignitaries on the stage to kindly join for the photograph. Thank you, Professor. It is now my honor to invite our chief guest, Mr. N.R. Narayanamurthy, founder Infosys, to address the gathering.
respected Director, Professor Padmanabhan, respected Dean Ashwin Mahalingam, Professor Ravi Kumar, Vivek Padmanabhan, Professor Subramanya Sharma, luminaries of the faculty, distinguished guests, and friends. It is a rare privilege to stand before you today. Before I go on to talk about Professor Padmanabhan, I must talk about my friend Sri Mahalingam. The greatest happiness that any parent can have is to have children who are competent, well educated, and value based. Having interacted with Dean Ashwin Mahalingam, I can definitely say that his father, Sri Mahalingam, and his mother are very lucky people. My connection to Professor Padmanabhan is one of profound professional respect and enduring personal admiration. Having served as perhaps the first chairman of the fundraising committee during Professor Padmanabhan's transformative tenure as the director of IIT Kanpur almost 30 years ago, I had a front row seat to a master class in leadership by witnessing a man who could navigate the complexities of institutional governance with the same precision he applied to the atomic lattice of a crystal. In the world of science, we often speak of excellence as a journey. For Professor Padmanabhan, the journey reached heights few ever have glimpsed. In 1972, he earned his PhD from the University of Cambridge, establishing himself as a rising star in metallurgy. Yet, the true measure of his global stature arrived in 1998. In a gesture of recognition that is extraordinarily rare in the academic world, Cambridge invited Professor Padmanabhan back to receive the Doctor of Science, the university's highest honorary research distinction. To be hooded twice by Cambridge, first as a student of promise and later as a master of the field, is a testament to a mind that does not merely study the laws of nature, but actually expands them. Whether at Cambridge or as an Alexander von Humboldt Fellow, and later as the Humboldt career or lifetime research awardee in Germany. That's the Humboldt Prize awardee in Germany. He has been our most distinguished ambassador to the global scientific community. The legendary metallurgist Sir Alan Cottrell once remarked, and I quote him, "The theorist in metallurgy is like a man who, having found a piece of a jigsaw puzzle, tries to imagine the whole picture," unquote. Professor Padmanabhan never had to imagine. He possessed the rare metallurgical intuition, what Cyril Stanley Smith described as the place where the rigor of science meets the intuition of art. From his pioneering work on superplasticity to his structural insights, he treated materials not as cold subjects, but as a living language. However, if we spoke only of his accolades, we would fail to capture the soul of the man. Professor Padmanabhan is above all else a great human being. I have known him for 30 years and I've had numerous interactions. So therefore, what I say is based on hard evidence. He is an alloy of rare qualities, the strength of unyielding integrity combined with the warmth of profound humility, kindness, and empathy. His affection for his students, there is one right here, Professor Subramanya Sharma, is not merely professional. It is paternal. In a world of high-pressure research, he remained a sanctuary of patience. He understood that the most enduring metal, or material rather, he would ever shape was not found in a furnace, but in the character and confidence of the young scholars who sought his guidance. He taught us that true greatness is not measured by how many people serve you, but by how many people you serve. A chair is a living monument, and it requires a steward of immense caliber. It is deeply poetic that Professor Subramanya Sharma is the inaugural recipient of that chair. Professor Sharma, you represent the very best of our academic tradition. Your dedication to physical metallurgy makes you the ideal guardian of this legacy. As you occupy this chair, remember the words of Robert Mell, and I quote him, "Metallurgy is a jealous mistress, but she rewards the faithful," unquote. Your faithfulness in this craft has brought you to this moment, and we look forward to the innovations that will flourish under your watch. As IIT Madras inaugurates the Professor K.A. Padmanabhan Chair today, that is February 24, 2026, we acknowledge a simple truth. While every metal has a fatigue limit, the influence of a great teacher is infinite. Professor Padmanabhan, we thank you for your genius, your grace, and your friendship. Professor Sharma, we salute you. May this chair inspire generations to reach for the horizon that Professor K.A. Padmanabhan first showed us was possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address. I now request Professor Kamakoti to kindly felicitate our esteemed chief guest, Mr. N.R. Narayanamurthy, as a token of our gratitude and respect. I request Professor Ashwin and Mr. Kaviraj to join for the photograph. Thank you, everyone. We now have a special address by Mr. Vivek Padmanabhan, Advisory Council Member at the Center of Applied Artificial Intelligence, the University of Chicago Booth School of Business, joining us virtually.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you whom I haven't met, my name is Vivek Padmanabhan. I'm the eldest son of Professor K. Padmanabhan. And it gives me great pleasure, pride, and satisfaction, both personally as well as on behalf of my brothers and our families, to participate in the launch of the K. Padmanabhan Institute Chair. I have a somewhat unique relationship with IIT Madras in that I've spent a little over 15 years at IIT Madras. First, as the child of a faculty member growing up on the beautiful campus, subsequently as a BTech student, and now an alumnus. I would also be remiss to not point out two little things in that journey, brief as they may be. I don't know if Professor Subramanya Sarma remembers me, but as a pesky mid-teenage boy who would meet him, the few times he would come over to the house to discuss things with my dad, or I would run into him at his lab as I was trying to get computer time on my dad's computer. So it gives me a great deal of joy personally to see things come full circle and have you occupy my father's chair. Also, it gives me a great amount of pride and I feel immense gratitude towards Mr. Murthy. I don't know if you remember, sir, but 24 years ago, I spent a few months as an InStep intern at Infosys in between business school and McKinsey, and I found those to be two very inspirational months, and you were extremely generous with your time then as you are today with my father and our family. Over the years, I've had the good fortune of having a ringside seat to my father as he went about his work. And today I thought there would be value in me sharing some of my observations in the hope that some of the things that I observed over the years are traits and qualities that the current and future occupants of this chair may perhaps take on as they pursue their work. As I look back, over the last 30 years or so that I've sort of been looking at my dad approach his work, I found it helpful to think about the experience perhaps in three different timescales: the short term, the medium term, and the long term. The short term, the qualities that emerged were very obvious. The drive, the energy, the relentless focus, all at an elite level. These things stood out and would be something that someone would pick up almost immediately as far as how my dad approached his work was concerned. But one had to step back a little bit and observe things over a slightly longer period of time to infer the sense of optimism that persisted through his work as he ran into challenging research problems, the sense of joy and fulfillment that he got from his work that allowed him to pursue his work for as long as he has, and which made him put his research pursuits perhaps above everything else in his professional life. And finally, 6 decades into his career, and a career that hasn't yet ended, almost in a rearview mirror, it's helpful to notice and important to recognize the two things that have been steadfast for the entire career, which is a deep sense of integrity and a strong sense of intellectual honesty. So looking back, everything that we've seen, the drive, the energy, the focus, the joy, the optimism, all of this on a foundation of integrity and intellectual honesty is what this chair is inheriting. So as I look at you, Professor Sharma, and future occupants of the chair as they may be, my sincere wish to all of you is that, some of these qualities, or in fact, all of these qualities, are attributes that you too share as you look at your career going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vivek, for your wonderful message. We now move to the much awaited student interaction session. Students from the UG and PG programs will engage in a short interaction with the chief guest. May I request Professor Sharma to kindly facilitate the session, please?
So the students who are here are free to raise the questions. We have a limited time, so maybe 3-4 questions. Yeah. Palak?
First of all, a very good morning to you, and thank you. It was a wonderful speech, really inspiring. So looking back, you have done your master's in an IIT, and as a master's student, what would be your advice to a 25-year-old studying in an IIT, keeping in mind the current status of AI and the technology, and also like in general in life, what kind of quality should a person inculcate in this time span in an IIT?
Can you please rephrase your question in a simple sentence, because there are too many words.
Okay, sir. So as
No, this is one very important thing that we Indians have to learn. We have to phrase our questions as simple sentences. We somehow have a tendency to make it very complex. Please.
sorry, sir. I'll keep this in mind. As a 25-year, what will be your advice to a 25-year-old studying in an IIT, considering the progress of AI and technology in the current world?
Well, to me, AI is another important tool to improve our productivity first, and if used properly, to add the intellectual output to the humanity. Right now, we're all used to Gen AI, large language models, by and large. And for example, I use it for preparing drafts of my speeches. And I've reduced the time I spend from, let's say, long speeches. This is a short one. For long speeches, I would take about 30 to 35 hours, multiple things. Now I have reduced it to about 6 to 8 hours. But I've realized one thing. If I were to spend a little bit of time thinking about my prompts very carefully, thinking about the context very carefully, and put those prompts, I get a better draft. So my belief is there will always be opportunity for intelligent people like you to become master of AI rather than becoming a slave of AI. And finally, as my friend Stephen Wolfram of Mathematica has said, I do believe that there is nothing that is more powerful than human mind. Human mind will always be a step ahead of all these technologies. So what you need to do as a student is, first of all, use whatever tools, whether it's generative AI, whether it is structured or supervised algorithms or self-learning algorithms, deep learning, neural networks, whatever you want, multiple regression, all of that, with lot of care, some intelligence, or as much of intelligence as possible, and you will be the beneficiary. I do not see AI as an inhibitor to the power of human mind. You will be the boss finally.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Amishi? You want to- Yeah, please.
My father was Dr. KAP's PhD student. His name was Dr. KNKS Kechukalingam. So the question to you is, how can India become more product-based than services-based? I think most of the companies today are more around services. And what should we do to make this more product-based?
Yeah, this is a typical question I've been asked probably for the last 40 years, so again and again. See, you have to understand one thing. By and large, over the last 1,000 years, ever since Alauddin Khilji came in 900 and whatever it is, AD, till the British left in 1947, it's almost 1,000 years. We were trained to do what we were asked to do. Even at Infosys, for about 33 years when I was part of Infosys, in every customer survey, the main point that would come out is, you guys are very hardworking, very disciplined, you will not walk out of the door at 5 p.m., you will execute whatever we want you to do very well, all of that. But there is hardly an occasion when one of you came and said, I have this great idea, why don't you try and implement it? This is not just Infosys, all Indian companies, let me say that. So it is a 1,000-year legacy where, for example, for almost 700 years, we abandoned science. You know better than I do. We abandoned mathematics. Though a few people tried to do it clandestinely. We abandoned surgery, all of that. But the British thought about very carefully and said, oh, we need a lot of these Indians to do our jobs, clerical jobs. So we'll train them. So they gave us training in some kind of college education. So it will take a little bit of time to overcome this. That's number one reason. The second reason is product ideas come in an environment where the market is dynamic and the companies leverage the power of technology to gain competitive advantage. Unfortunately, while we have made tremendous progress, there is no doubt about it, we are still not at that stage where an Indian company will think of a great new technology and say, I will try it out. So that is the second reason why you do not see much, too many products. Third, there are, for example, Infosys core banking solution, Finacle, has been certified as one of the top 2 in the world. It has been installed in Europe, in Australia, in Asia, Africa, South America, you name it. But US somehow has not adopted any new technology, not even the other technology, because they're all running well, so it takes a huge effort to do that. Fourth, I would say that it will change when there is considerable competition amongst the Indian companies to use the power of technology and then do that. That's why most of the solutions, most of the products that are happening outside India. For example, my son has he's a PhD from Harvard. He has a product on what is called context engineering, for context engineering, called work fabric. But that he has installed in Goldman Sachs, he has installed in Unilever, he has installed in Merck, he has installed in many corporations outside. But that's a little bit advanced here. So it will happen. I am positive it will happen. But what took 1,000 years to create a certain mindset, thanks to invasion by outsiders, thanks to subjugation of Indian mind by those outsiders, it will not change in 78 years. It will take a little bit of time. But that's where my belief is that the solution to India's progress lies in institutions like IITs. The solution lies in the intellectuals assembled in this room. Therefore, all our leaders, political, bureaucratic, corporate, everybody has to stand up, salute them, provide all possible help to them, and give them a free hand. Don't try to interfere too much in their work, because they are the brightest that we have. They know what to do. So that's all. If all of us were to heed these words, my belief is we will accelerate changing our mindset from doing what we are asked to do to think about new ideas and come out with solutions as products.
Any other questions or remarks? Sir, I have one question myself, Professor Narayan Murthy sir. So, in the light of, because students are not coming forward, there is one? Yeah, please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for your presence. I'm Kalidas from Metallurgy Department. Can you share your one biggest failure in your life and one biggest success in your life?
You know, first of all, we operated Infosys as the most enlightened democracy. Even though all my colleagues were about 11 years younger than me, they were about 5-6 levels junior to me when I was the general manager in a Bombay company. I said, the only way we can bring in innovations at Infosys only way we can bring in new ideas is if we create an environment of openness to new ideas, hierarchy of ideas rather than the hierarchy of corner offices and titles and all of that, speed, imagination, and excellence in execution. Now, that also led to the spirit of democracy. Every decision, in every major decision we took, 35% of the members were below 25 years. Below 25 years, remember that. Imagine at IIT Madras, Professor Kamakoti is saying that I will form an advisory council where 35% will be all below 25 years. I don't know whether the government will allow him, but what I am saying is, in such an environment, sometimes the youngsters commit mistakes, but by and large their confidence will grow and they will do extraordinary things over a period of time. So we did, our decision making was perhaps somewhat slowed down because I had embraced enlightened democracy. I wouldn't call it a failure, I would call it laying a very strong foundation. It's not a failure. Success, I have met people who are 1,000 times smarter than me, million times smarter than me, in India and outside India. I have seen people who have run much, much, much bigger companies than I have. So I don't want to call anything a success. All that I would say is, when I was in Paris, when I was working in a French software company, a French real-time software company, I got converted from a confused leftist to a determined, compassionate capitalist. And I returned, gave up that job. It was a wonderful job. And for example, we had built the operating system for handling air cargo for Charles de Gaulle Airport. We had built the operating system for handling driverless metro in Paris in early 70s, not now, 56 years ago. All of that I gave up because I said I want to come back to my country and conduct an experiment in the power of entrepreneurship, in creating jobs, in reducing the poverty. Now, I don't know whether it's success or not. It is for the others to say. I shouldn't be talking.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir, it was indeed a success. And just to add one story here also, that we do the strategic plan for the institute, and we ensure that people not at 25 but 35 to 40 take part in that. And that essentially, when the plan comes to a stage of implementation, we also involve students, we involve alumni, we involve all of them too, right? And when it comes to implementation, then we, the people who wrote the plan, now hold the charge of implementation. So I was part of the strategic plan 2012 to 2017, and Ashwin was part of the 2017 to 26 now. So by the time they become dean, they also have they own the plan. Okay, so so that has been a very interesting thing. So because that actually the strategic plan actually focused us on to what we need to do. As an institute, we started working together, and all the youngsters who wrote the plan were in the helm of affairs, and they were actually implementing it. And that was so. Thank you, sir.
Please.
So, what do you believe universities must do differently to prepare students not for just the jobs, or to build the nation, or to build leadership and entrepreneurship? So,
this is a good question. I am a great devotee of Milton Friedman. You know Milton Friedman, right? The economist. He's no more. What Milton Friedman said was, look, you corporate people, run your corporations legally, ethically, and maximize your profits. Don't cheat on taxes. Try and create jobs. Try and help society wherever it is. Those are things that I can write down very clearly and then say, create KPIs, key performance indicators, whether I have done it or not. So I don't use the words like I want to help India, therefore, I don't know what is helping India mean. I know what is paying more taxes means. I know what is creating more jobs mean. I know giving salary increments to the lowest level person before I take salary increment. Those things I understand. They are concrete. They're not nebulous. Whereas the whole thing of helping the nation, etc., I mean, if you are a good student, if you studied properly, if you got whatever, one of the top ranks, you have done more than what you are supposed to do. Because then you will take up a good job. You will work hard. You will add more value. So please do not keep nebulous objectives. Keep objectives that are as quantifiable as possible, objectives for which you can define KPIs, key performance indicators, and then say, here I am today. It could be a metric scale or a non-metric scale, it doesn't matter. Okay? And I want to be here 5 years from now. That's sufficient.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable time.
I have a last question. Hello, sir. My name is Balaji. I work with Professor Ashwin and Kaviraj in their office. So what are the top 3 things which India as a nation should do, right? Simple first principles thing that you think in the next 5 years, which will take us closer to number 1 in the world in terms of superpowers?
You know, again, I am somewhat uncomfortable saying number 1 in the world, etc., because our human development index is 137th. We are ranked 137th. We are 73rd out of 74 in PISA index. See, these are all not, we should be a little bit humble. Okay, so what you are saying is, okay, what are the 3 things we need to do to improve ourselves? That is a better question for me. I think first, we have to be absolutely disciplined. Discipline is most lacking in India. Oh, what is the advantage of discipline? Discipline means doing what you are supposed to do. If Professor Ashwin Mahalingam tells one of his assistants, please kindly do this by this date, if that person did it, he is disciplined, he is doing it. So first is discipline. Second, we have to somehow improve the speed of our public governance system. For example, in Bangkok, they took 1.5 years to build a metro from Suvarnabhumi airport to this city. In Bangalore, it is 24 years, we have still not done it. You know, in everything I can tell you, we slip. So that means we have to estimate properly, we have to work hard, and we have to improve the speed of our decision making, speed of execution. Third, I think we need, this is a very somewhat a controversial one, I don't know, I mean, whether I should say it or not.
Thank you, everyone. That was a wonderful session. As we come to the close of this memorable morning, I invite Ms. Sujata Dubey, Vice President, Alumni Relations, Office of Institutional Advancement, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor and a privilege to offer the vote of thanks today. I'd like to start by thanking Mr. Narayanamurthy for that wonderful speech and also for those great answers for the Q&A session. I'd like to thank Professor Kamakoti, our director, for taking the time out to spend it with us here. Professor K. Padmanabhan for joining us this morning, and Mr. Vivek Padmanabhan also for joining us online. For all the donors and contributors who have worked to create the K. Padmanabhan Endowment Chair, I'd like to thank our Dean, Professor Ashwin Mahalingam. I'd like to thank Mr. Dr. Subramanya Sharma, the occupant of the chair, and Dr. Ravi Kumar for reading out the citation, Mr. Kaviraj Nair, the CEO of our office, all the faculty members of the Department of Metallurgy and Materials Engineering, the students, and the audience who have come to make this a special occasion. I'd also like to thank Mr. Pandurangan, Mr. Narayanamurthy's secretary, who helped us to coordinate for this event, and all the staff of the Alumni and Corporate Relations Office who have made it a success, as well as the ICSR audiovisual and team who have helped us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sujata ma'am. May I request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you for being part of the significant milestone. Have a wonderful day. Refreshments have been arranged outside the hall. We invite you to kindly join us for the refreshments.